World of Warcraft has officially beaten its own FOMO problem by essentially overwhelming their players with so many different versions of the game. I don't think any single person who is playing World of Warcraft actually has the time to play all the different kinds of versions of World of Warcraft that they wish to keep up with. And this is actually a good thing. Imagine you've been playing World of Warcraft since it first originally came out, and for some reason, every time they do a fresh server of classic World of Warcraft, whether you enjoy hardcore PvP or PvE, there's a fresh version of that. So you can drop all of your other responsibilities that you have in your other versions of World of Warcraft or other video games, and just begin again, start over. Start fresh. There's tons of people doing it, so why not? Is there some reason as to why you don't want to start fresh with everybody? Well, there's plenty of people over in Season of Discovery who are having a heck of a time with classic, you know, World of Warcraft, but it's just a completely different sort of gameplay. Everybody's classes, they're all mixed up in different, like, mages can be healers and a whole bunch of other fun things. Rogues can be tanks, I think. Like, it's really cool, and if you've not checked that out, but you want to check out maybe a slightly different version of classic World of Warcraft, I highly suggest that. Now, you know, there's really no crime to starting on it, because it has been out. That Season of Discovery servers have been out for a bit, but there is no crime to just hopping on and getting with it. But, you know, some people are like, oh, that hype train is already passed, right? So maybe that's not interesting to them either. So are you nostalgic for, you know, maybe classic, but not exactly vanilla? Oh, that's great. Guess what? Cataclassic's over there. It just moved from the Wrath of the Lich King era to the era. So if you're feeling the need to revisit Firelands in all of its glory, fear not, it's right there waiting for you. Go ahead, go check that out, especially if you didn't enjoy Cataclysm back in like 2012 or whatever. Like, highly suggest. Do you have a hardcore character that you were working on back in 2019 that, like, you didn't die but you didn't get to level 60, you just like logged off it one day and forgot? Those servers are still up. You could just pick up where you left off there, or, you know, you could just make a brand new hardcore character, right? Like I said earlier. So there's that. You just go into anything, anywhere, and the game isn't going anywhere. That's the thing about it. So if you don't feel motivated to replay any of those past expansions, whether it's slightly different from the way it was the first time or completely the same, if that none of it sounds fun to you, it's totally fine, because guess what? Retail World of Warcraft has so many things constantly being added to it. I, as someone who enjoys retail World of Warcraft, I can't find enough time in my life to sit down and get any of it done. I keep getting called back to here. Classic World of Warcraft. I can just make a fresh character and just start jamming, you know? I can log into retail and tend to that overwhelming amount of future Warcraft pretty much whenever I feel. You know, because I don't always feel very committed to dealing with it. However, I do always want to be playing World of Warcraft. And now I'm definitely at a point where I can't find myself playing anything else. Really. Like, it's just World of Warcraft and picking a different version. Because sometimes I'll pick up a single player game and just really quickly knock it out, and then it's back to World of Warcraft. I cannot think about picking up a different MMO anymore. World of Warcraft in itself is multiple different MMOs. So how can I think about another MMO? I've got so much here. So I feel like that is definitely a luxury, because I feel like a lot of other people are enjoying MMOs that they feel like they're constantly running out of content. They're running out of things to do. They're paying money to play it every month, but they don't have enough things to do, right? So I feel like that is part of it. Since I personally always want to be playing World of Warcraft, right? Like, when I'm playing a game and I'm really enjoying it and I want to play it all the time, and just because I might not want to be doing like the end game content and all the time, I still want to be playing it. And I know some other MMO enjoyers can probably relate on that experience, because I enjoy not feeling like I'm on a calendar or schedule, or there's some sort of rush for me to do something and get it done. It's fine. Like, that is totally fine now in World of Warcraft, because if I don't, it's not like gonna be gone. I might have to wait like an extreme long amount of time or something. Like, yeah, there's definitely some things like that in retail WoW, where if like you miss it this year, you just might have to wait till next year. But it's like, I have all of this time in between the different versions of World of Warcraft. So yeah, I don't get it this year, I'll just get around to it next year. Like, I'll still be playing by then, you know, unless I'm not of this earth anymore. Like, I don't know what to say. I'm just having so much fun playing all the different versions. So I don't think any other MMOs are ever going to have this sort of luxury. I honestly pity many other MMOs that they do deserve this sort of love, to have the funding, a dev team to be able to like withhold this many servers and people that can play a classic version of the game, and then also having a future version of the game that's still getting updates and love and everything. Like, there's a lot of MMOs out there that deserve this same sort of treatment, and they would find themselves with a resurrection of the player base as well. There's probably a lot of MMOs where the mass majority of their player base actually like the classic version, and as they added some things, they like lost a lot of their player base, and then they didn't do a good job of getting a new player base with their updates, and then the game just kind of died. I bet you so many games would do so good if they had classic versions of their own game, and then, you know, continued working on their future version of the game for people. But that's a luxury. That's a luxury in itself. If you would have told anyone, you know, someone about 5 years ago, that this is the current state of World of Warcraft, what it is right now, all these different servers and versions, they would have probably rolled their eyes, maybe said like, that's too much. If anything, how is there enough players? How is there enough people interested in any of this? And then, like, what, the retail version of WoW isn't dying? How are any of these servers active? It's just that is, though, how many people like World of Warcraft. You log into any of these servers, and you're finding people on all of them. There's so many people enjoying WoW right now, and enough of them are enjoying different versions of World of Warcraft. Unfortunately, I don't feel like other MMOs, they're just not as popular enough to be able to do something like that. So yeah, like, that's the thing. It's made the player base grow. I truly believe that, if anything, some people might think something like this would ruin different parts of an MMO. And like I said, with other MMOs, yes. But for this one, for World of Warcraft, I feel like it has only made World of Warcraft player count numbers and everything grow and go up. So how can any other MMO compete? Like, you might be able to eventually one day kill off one version of Warcraft, let's say retail, right? Let's say everyone really does stop logging into retail and it falls off. But, like, it's just the amount of people who are enjoying, like, the classic and, you know, Season Discovery, Cataclysm, whatever. These past expansions bring back so many people, so it doesn't even matter if any people are really playing retail. Imagine if they did like Legion Classic. I know I personally would. I just didn't have the opportunity to play Legion when it was current. I missed it. So, you know, the last few days during Legion, I logged in right before it moved over to Battle for Azeroth. That was when I had a computer to play World of Warcraft again, but I just literally missed out on Legion. So I would enjoy that. I would play that a lot, and I know some other people probably would too. because you could go back and revisit that content in retail, but I don't do any of that content because it's not going to feel the same. Like, I'm not going to get the same experience that it would have been if I would have done it when it was like current content with a bunch of people around and stuff. Like, I want that feeling, I want that experience. So if you're someone who you are like, oh, I missed the boat, there's no way for me to possibly pick up World of Warcraft in 2024, and you never have before, I just want to say you're lying to yourself. That's it. I just want to say, like, this is the most casual friendly video game, and no single person who's playing every single version of the game and getting everything done that they want to do, like, I don't believe everyone's max level and everything like that, and in Season of Discovery, vanilla, hardcore, retail, like, what? They must be RMTing, or they really don't have a life. Like, I guess World of Warcraft is what they do full time. Like, that'd be crazy. So I want to say, if you want to have a casual fun experience in an MMO that is seemingly like never going to die, it's like immortal because you have all of these different versions that you can play for only $15 a month. You don't need to spend any money on the new expansions and everything like that. If you want to play retail and you have the extra money, cool, but you could just pay 15 bucks a month, or pay for like a year membership, what's a little cheaper than 15 bucks a month. And then you got classic World of Warcraft, you got Cataclysm World of Warcraft, you got like 2-3 different versions of World of Warcraft that you can pay with just the $15 a month. So like, don't feel like, oh wow, there's no hype train that, you know, you missed, because there's one right here. You can jump on it if you've not given yourself the luxury of ever trying World of Warcraft and you've somehow convinced yourself that you've missed out. Let's say you stopped playing World of Warcraft a long time ago. You quit during one of those past expansions. Go pick up Cataclysm right now, or wait till the expansion that you missed gets re-released. You should play it if they bring out a classic version of it. And so basically that right there, that's the luxury. Really. There can never be any sort of FOMO, like, ever again. I mean, maybe like with particular items maybe in the game, but just like the experience, which I feel like is the hugest, that is the biggest thing of FOMO. It's one thing, everyone's used to like kind of, oh, missing out on certain items and whatever not. If you're not willing to grind and put in the effort and work in the time, it's whatever. But some people just don't pick up video games at all because the entire FOMO of, oh, I already missed the bandwagon. You do not have to worry about that with World of Warcraft anymore. It seems Blizzard's full intention is to constantly highlight past versions of the game so that everyone can either relive the most nostalgic times of their life or just get that experience for the first time with a bunch of people in the most authentic way possible without owning like a time machine. Thanks to Blizzard, I feel like time travel is real, because anytime I want to take a trip in the past, I just pick my favorite version of classic World of Warcraft, and here I am enjoying the nostalgia. I truly hope that you give yourself the same luxury. If you are someone at all who has been interested in World of Warcraft, you may have played World of Warcraft just recently, or, you know, like maybe you've only played retail, so you've not played any of this old classic Warcraft. Do it! These past versions are great. And you don't have to feel like you missed out on anything. So come join us if you haven't already, because this is the best. And I'm having a lot of fun. That's all. That's my PSA. World of Warcraft is great. Thanks for listening.